So the great Howie Long joins us now to talk
Tell
about
you what, with that sport coat on, I'm just here.
We're all just here so we don't get fined when we're next to Charles with that getup.
Looking good, man.
Hey, man, thank you, man. Well, I knew you were coming over.
Big
so
money.
Yeah. I'm looking for it.
Well, we are talking defense, so of course we got to pick up right where that clip just left off. Brian Flores and the job that he's done in Minnesota. What's making that defense so effective, Howie?
It's complex. Metellus, kid from Michigan. He's not Charles Woodson, but he plays corner, he plays safety. He's great as a blitzer. All of their second and third level guys that come on pressure, it's almost like they're probably, from a technique standpoint, they're better pass rushers than many of the defensive linemen. They feed off of that offense jumping on people. They jump out to a lead. People become one-dimensional. I think Detroit's answer to that is we're going to lean into who we are. We're physical. We're tough. It's the offensive line. It's the two running backs. That's what they need to do. And losing a huge piece in Aiden Hutchinson. Such a terrible thing watching him go down last week. You know, leading the league in sacks, Charles, and quarterback hits. How can that defense make up for the loss of him?
Well, man, first of all, let me give my best to Aiden. That was a tough injury, tough to watch. But I know this guy's going to come back, you know, bigger, faster, and stronger if you could do that. But this defense, we know what he brings to the table. But this team is not really, to me, really built on the defense. If you think about it, even with Aiden Hutchinson, the 27th in pass defense. So for this team, it's about getting off the field on third down. They have been good getting off the field on third down. I think they're second in the league. So continue to make plays on third down. Get the ball back to the offense, because this team is about Jahmyr Gibbs and Montgomery and that play-action passing with Jared Goff. So they'll be fine, I think. Without Hutchinson, they'll have to generate some pressure somehow. But it's all about that offense in Detroit.
Jefferson has lit them up. They've got to find a way to at least slow him down. And it's a very aggressive secondary. They're very handsy. How the officials call this game will be a big key.
Great point. We got a Super Bowl rematch for the first time here on Fox between the Niners and the Chiefs. Of course, this Niners, squad has always been top 10 in defense year after year after year. What's going on with them this year, and how can they rebound today against the Chiefs?
You know, I think it's. We look back at that Super Bowl we had, the first matchup between
in Miami back in 2020. Yeah.
Bosa's the only guy left from that defensive front. Can you believe that? I mean, and I think if there's an area that really I think was dominant for San Francisco over the years, 4 coordinators in 5 years. Yeah. There's a lot of turnover in the defensive front. They're not as good up front, particularly in the interior. And Kansas City, if their strength is anything, it's the interior three of their offensive line. If they're not the best in football, they might be the best in football. And I'd say running the football, particularly versus San Francisco and their backup unit, Hargrave's out.
Who do you like in that game today?
I'll pick later, but
then don't tell
I'm leaning towards the Midwest.
Well played. Okay, we got it. I know what you're doing there. Charles, this matchup for you, intriguing?
Yeah, it's intriguing. And you talked about really the rotation, of that line, for San Francisco. I think that's tough. You talked about Bosa. But for me, it's all about Kansas City's defense and Chris Jones. This team has been carried by the defense the last couple of years, and they're continuing to do that this year.
Which has been the opposite of what we've said about
exactly.
Kansas City
So what they do is those guys, they just carry the defense into the postseason, and then they say, Kelsey, Mahomes, come alive.
And,
we got
coming
you
off a bye,
then.
Andy Reid's very good coming off a bye, 21-4. In fact, you're always very good. Thank you for coming over. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
No.
Charles is going to let you borrow that jacket next week.
Absolutely.
I don't think it'll fit.
We've talked defense.